Mark Meadows' communications. Jake, that was a key thing that was.
All right, thank you.
Between the Justice Department and
welcome.
So the question remains.
It's Mr. Brown's show.
Will we see Mark Meadows?
Well, on Wednesday afternoon. What's going on, everyone? Did you see the debate last night between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance, which was a pretty if you're looking for some excitement, it wasn't about last night. It was pretty boring. If you thought it was pretty, I mean, it wasn't boring. It was interesting. They stayed on point with the issues. They may have had like maybe one or two heated moments, and which would appear to have been heated for the temperament that the debate was going in, for the temperament that was being held during this whole debate. For those few times, it may appear to be heated, and actually it wasn't heated. They just raised their voices up an octave, but and they disagreed with each other. For the most part, Tim Walz found himself saying, "I agree with Senator Vance." Senator Vance was, in some cases, very few times, said, "I agree with Governor Walz." However, or he'll say, "but," and then he'll go into his explanation of what he doesn't really agree with. But it was interesting watching the two last night. It almost looked like how Congress is supposed to act, the Republican side and the Democratic side. No, we don't get along, we don't agree on everything, but we still work together. And last night, these two individuals worked together to answer questions. Vance tried to come off as a polished, smooth individual. In some sense, he did. However, I think a lot of people were really, really looking forward to some name calling, some mudslinging. But these guys were above board. They went about it as gentlemen. What was quite interesting at the very end, unlike the first debate between Harris and Trump, the two shook hands at the end. They shook hands in the beginning, and they shook hands at the end, and their spouses came onto the stage, gave their spouse a hug or a kiss or whatever, or both, and then went on to shake the hand of the other person, the opponent. Unlike what happened with Harris and Trump, if you have not noticed, Trump's wife, Ilana, whatever. Yeah, I'm messing up her name intentionally because I don't really give a damn. But she hasn't been on the scene since the convention. And I think even in the convention, he was deeply surprised that she even gave him a hug. He wasn't surprised she was there. She was supposed to be there. But he was surprised that she gave him a hug. You could see on her face during the convention that she was not a very happy camper, not a happy wife, to be more specific. Happy wife, happy life. I would say in this case, she is probably, I would venture to say, she's probably looking to leave his butt as soon as that train pulls into the station. She's ready to get on it and go. They're not together no more, y'all. They're not sleeping in the same bedroom together. when they have the opportunity. They're not doing that. That whole bull BS about she had to stay back and raise their youngest son, who's now 18. Come on, the boy is taller than his dad. So come on. I actually, we could have a conversation on that. How soon will she be able to divorce Trump? And she can go ahead and divorce him and leave him, but I think there's something that Trump has that he's holding over her head, and I think it pertains to her parents' recent, and I mean recent within the last couple of years, being given citizenship in this country. I think it's got something to do with that. So she's sticking around. And also, it looks bad for him, someone running for president, to be possibly going through a pending divorce. I don't think we've ever had a president in history who was going through a divorce, who may have won the election and now going through a pending divorce, or someone who's running for election and running for the president or presidency, and while they're running, they're also undergoing the process of a divorce. So Trump is breaking all kinds of historical rules. I mean, he's making all kinds of historical statements here, being the first to do this, first to do that, first to be convicted, 34 counts. But getting back to the Vance and Walz debate, I hate to say this, I was impressed. Tim Walz, some people said he may have had somewhat of a slow night. He appeared in some instances to be a little nervous. I know he wrote everything down. He was right. It looked like he was writing a dissertation, the way he was writing over there. But he stood his ground. He put out some good points. He actually, one of the heated moments was he asked Vance, do you actually believe that the president did not win? I mean, do you actually believe that the President Trump lost the election? And Vance wouldn't answer that question. He wouldn't answer it. So, and then they had the thing where they caught Walz on some type of trip he took to China. Said that he was actually on deck when they had the Tiananmen Square protest. He was actually there when they had that big uprising. And he said, I misspoke. He wasn't there. Who cares? Like he would have been able to do something about it, right? That's when, if you're wondering what that was, that's when the young lady stood in front of the tank. It was an army tank, Chinese tank. She stood directly in front of it and would not allow it to go forward or go to the left or go to the right. Anytime it tried to turn to the slight left, the young lady moved in front of the tank to the slight left. Anytime it moved slight right, she moved slight right in front of the tank, daring the tank to just run her over. I mean, she's right there at the tank. So if that's the scene. That's Tiananmen Square in China when they had the protests. I guess politically, sounds like a good place to be if you're going to go ahead and say, hey, I was there. But he wasn't there. I guess previously he said he was there in a statement, and they, fact checked him and said, hey, the 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 numbers don't lie. You weren't there on this date. This means you were checked in at this hotel or whatever. He wasn't there on that date, so he easily just said I misspoke. But he went about it kind of like a roundabout way of saying I just misspoke. He said I was a knucklehead. I misspoke. Hey, I mean, we all have said things that we thought we were going to say or thought we were saying, but we may have just said something, and it's like, hey, it was not meant to be heard in that sense, or it wasn't meant for us to say something or even to indicate that we were there or we had anything to do with it at all. And I guess he got caught up in the moment and said, yeah, I was there. What are you gonna do? Great temperament, really, 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 really cordial toward each other, very respectful to each other. Likability, they're talking about that was a factor. Likability, Walls literally looked like a high school teacher, somebody you had in high school. Walls, JD Vance, he just tried to be smooth like a lawyer. He tried to say, he was empathetic towards Walls when he says Walls' son witnessed a murder, a shooting, and Vance gave his condolences to Walls about, I'm sorry your son had to go through that. I thought that was pretty nice. I thought that was very, at least on the social points, got him some points. It went a long ways. It was 90 minutes. Some people say that because of the way Walls just handled the questions and answered some of the questions that Vance did not answer. Some people say he won. Some people say it was a tie. A lot of people are saying that Vance came out smelling like a rose, looking good. That Vance won. It was close. It wasn't toe to toe. It wasn't like Harris and Trump. They had some type of respect for each other, definitely respect for each other, and may have at the end established some type of friendship between the two, which they didn't have prior to the debate. So it's interesting. It was interesting. You get the sense that no matter what happens after November 5th, these two guys may be able to help, they may be able to help each other out. Either Walls as a governor of Minnesota, or the Senate, or Vance as a senator. Hey, because they really did seem to establish some type of understanding of each other and some type of respect for each other, and saw each other's side. So that was very interesting given the fact that who their running mates are, Harris and Trump being just a bad boy of insults and this and that, and I don't know how Trump received this debate. I don't know how he felt Vance did, but it went well. What did you think? What were your? Did you have any points? Did you even watch it? Was it too long for you? Let me know. Shout out to BroncoEyeRadio.com, where every second of the day an artist is live. BroncoRadio.com. We're proud to be. Shout out to Cheyney State University, or Cheyney University of Pennsylvania. Shout out to University of Pennsylvania. Shout out to UNUC, University of North Carolina Central University. Shout out to North Carolina State. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for joining. It's Mr. Brown Show. What were your thoughts? What you think about this thing with Israel going on? Iran firing missiles. Actually, they were firing these missiles at military targets in Israel. So, what do you think about this? It's a war now. So, what do you think? Or do you care? It's the Mr. Brown Show.